Hi. Hi there.
Hi, teacher.
So, today we're going to be working on the last task. So this is task 4. I don't know if you remember, but it's the one where you have to listen. You're just going to have to listen to a lecture. We'll have first like a short intro, then some topics, and so your response just need to be like the lecture's about this. The professor describes two. Okay. So you remember how this task was?
Yeah, I think so.
You do? Okay. So I'm gonna play the audio now, the first one. You can take some notes and then you'll do it. So here we go.
Response and 60 seconds to speak. Listen to part of a lecture in an economics class.
So when we talk about the demand for a product, we're referring to how much consumers want to buy it, right? And often the demand for a product is influenced by its price. The more expensive it becomes, the less chance that people will want to buy it. Okay. But that's not the whole story. Sometimes the demand for a product can also be influenced by the price of other related products. First, there are those products called substitute goods. If products can be substituted for one another, then they're called substitute goods. They're similar enough to be interchangeable. And an increase in the price of one means an increase in the demand for the other, like butter and margarine. They're pretty much used for the same purposes. Margarine's a butter substitute, and you can bake equally well with either. Well, when the price of butter goes up, it becomes less affordable, and so what do people do? They buy margarine instead, right? So, you see, an increase in the price of butter increases the demand for margarine. Now, another instance where the price of one product can influence the demand of another is when you have two products that can't be used without each other. Those products we call complement goods. They complement or complete each other, if you will, like compact discs and compact disc players. You need both products in order to use either. So if the price of either product increases, demand for both is likely to decrease. And if the price of CDs goes up, well, demand for them will go down, right? And because CDs and CD players complement each other, what'll also happen is that the demand for CD players will go down too.
Using the points and examples from the talk, explain how substitute goods and complement goods influence demand for a particular product.
Okay. Substitute and complement goods. Now I'll give you 30 seconds to prepare your response, and then we'll start. So you can prepare. Okay. So if you're ready, please, you can start speaking now.
Okay. The professor talked about demand for a product. She said that that the fact that affects the demand is price. She talks about substitute products. That is when, for example, when the price of butter increase, the demand of margarine increased too, because it's a substitute product. And then she talked about complement products that when the demand of the CD increase, also increase a CD player, because one product can't work with another one.
Okay, so that was actually really cool. I think that was great. This was a hard one, to be honest, because it was a bit confusing, that stuff about when the price of one, the demand for the other one increases, or the demand increases for both. So that was kind of hard or confusing, but you did just fine, and you got the information right, which is something that I'm impressed about. Okay, what can I say? Maybe first think careful with the vocabulary. So maybe try to change those reporting verbs. If you're gonna use, I mean, no matter what you use, what verbs you use, remember that whenever you refer to the professor, it's third person, right? So the professor talks about, she says, and I would try to use different ones still, you know, so that she, instead of she says, I don't know, she states, claims. And second little thing I noticed, make sure that you follow the structure. So don't forget the definitions here. So you say, to start the lecture, you describe substitute goods, something quick, which is two goods that I think are interchangeable, right? And then you tell me the example. For instance, butter and margarine, demand, price. And then here, complement goods, products that complement each other to illustrate, and then you talk about CDs and stuff. Okay, so just careful with that. But I think everything was really good, and you made it on time. So I really liked your response. I think you can really get a good score. Okay. Do you have any questions so far?
No, teacher, it's just I couldn't connect the last two classes, so, but I'm going to see the class on YouTube.
Okay, but we were doing the reading the last two classes, so.
Okay.
But yeah, you can watch it in it.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna do one more, the last one. So
Okay.
here it goes. Wait.
Listen to part of a lecture in a biology class.
Capabilities in the kingdom. Some bird species have vision that is 8 to 10 times greater than humans. Overall, a bird's eyes are extremely important for its survival. One aspect of birds' eyes that plays a role in helping them survive, in other words, to find food or to avoid predators, is the position of the eyes in the skull. Some birds have eyes that face forward on the skull, kind of similar to how humans' eyes are positioned. Forward-facing eyes allow a bird to clearly see and judge distances because it can focus on objects with both of its eyes and correctly perceive height, width, and depth. One type of bird with eyes positioned on the skull is the hawk. Hawks eat animals like mice. Hawks have such good eyesight that they can spot a tiny mouse in a field from high up in the air. They spot the mouse and swoop down to catch it. Without such good eyesight, they would not be able to spot or catch their food. Other birds have eyes that are located on each side of the skull. This positioning of the eyes can help a bird to avoid predators. Instead of just seeing what's directly in front, they can see things that are on either side, permitting them to watch for danger in all directions. Imagine a duck wading near the edge of a lake. It needs to spend time eating grasses and insects, but it also is on constant lookout for danger from its predator, like a fox. An eye on each side of the duck's head allows it to see a fox approaching from either side. If it spots a fox, it can then fly away to safety. The placement of the eyes are critical in helping the duck avoid predators.
Using the examples in the lecture, explain how the position of birds' eyes is critical to their survival.
Okay. So once more, 30 seconds.
Teacher,
Yeah.
can I hear the audio again,
Okay.
please?
Yeah.
The internet, I think, is wrong. I couldn't listen complete.
Was it my internet though?
I don't know, but I couldn't hear.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna play it again. Let's see if we can get on time. So here it goes.
Okay, thank you.
Listen to part of a lecture in a biology class.
Birds have some of the best vision capability in the animal kingdom. Some bird species have vision that is 8 to 10 times greater than humans. Overall, a bird's eyes are extremely important for its survival. One aspect of birds' eyes that plays a role in helping them survive, in other words, to find food or to avoid predators, is the position of the eyes in the skull. Some birds have eyes that face forward on the skull, kind of similar to how humans' eyes are positioned. Forward-facing eyes allow a bird to clearly see and judge distances because it can focus on objects with both of its eyes and correctly perceive height, width, and depth. One type of bird with eyes positioned in the front of the skull is the hawk. Hawks eat animals like mice. Hawks have such good eyesight that they can spot a tiny mouse in a field from high up in the air. They spot the mouse and swoop down to catch it. Without such good eyesight, they would not be able to spot or catch their food. Other birds have eyes that are located on each side of the skull. This positioning of the eyes can help a bird to avoid predators. Instead of just seeing what's directly in front, they can see things that are on either side, permitting them to watch for danger in all directions. Imagine a duck wading near the edge of a lake. It needs to spend time eating grasses and insects, but it also is on constant lookout for danger from its predator, like the fox. An eye on each side of the duck's head allows it to see a fox approaching from either side. If it spots a fox, it can then fly away to safety. The placement of the eyes are critical in helping the duck avoid predators.
Using the examples in the lecture, explain how the position of birds' eyes is critical to their survival.
So 30 seconds now.
Okay.
Okay. So please, if you're ready, you can start speaking now.
Okay. In the biology class, the professor talked about birds' vision, which is 8 to 10 times better than humans. And the position is something important for birds because they can judge distance and can look for food to long distance. For example, hawks are the best to see long distance and they can catch their food. And the ducks, they can look side to side because they have to look for predators and they have to avoid them.
Okay, great. So yeah, the hawks, they use their eyes to catch their prey, while the ducks use their eyes to avoid predators. So that was really good. Again, I think you had all the information. Okay, very quickly, maybe summarize a bit more the intro, don't make it so long, and start right off with the first subtopic, and learn to differentiate them as well. So the subtopic from the example. The examples are always going to be about the animals, and the subtopics are something else. In this case, I think it was the first one where their eyes are on front, and second one when their eyes are on the side, and then you get the examples.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Any questions, Rosario?
No, teacher.
All right, so I'll see you next session.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. Hi, Leandro. Hi there.
Good evening.
Hi. So we're going to be working on the last task today, which is task 4. So if you remember, you just got the lecture, and then you have 2 subtopics, right? And 2 examples as well. So just at the beginning, there's a short intro that's not that important. So you just try to focus on both subtopics and the examples as well. You remember how it was? This was a template.
I remember. Yeah, I think that I can do it.
Okay. So we're going to start with the first one. Here it goes. You can take some notes. I'm going to play the audio.
Listen to part of a lecture in an economics class.
So when we talk about the demand for a product, we're referring to how much consumers want to buy it, right? And often the demand for a product is influenced by its price. The more expensive it becomes, the less chance that people will want to buy it. Okay, but that's not the whole story. Sometimes the demand for a product can also be influenced by the price of other related products. First, there are those products called substitute goods. If products can be substituted for one another, then they're called substitute goods. They're similar enough to be interchangeable. And an increase in the price of one means an increase in the demand for the other, like butter and margarine. They're pretty much used for the same purposes. Margarine's a butter substitute, and you can bake equally well with either. Well, when the price of butter goes up, it becomes less affordable, and so what do people do? They buy margarine instead, right? So, you see, an increase in the price of butter increases the demand for margarine. Now, another instance where the price of one product can influence the demand of another is when you have 2 products that can't be used without each other. Those products we call complement goods. They complement or complete each other, if you will, like compact discs and compact disc players. You need both products in order to use either. So if the price of either product increases, demand for both is likely to decrease. And if the price of CDs goes up, well, demand for them will go down, right? And because CDs and CD players complement each other, what will also happen is that the demand for CD players will go down too.
Using the points and examples from the talk, explain how substitute goods and complement goods influence demand for a particular product.
Okay. So now you'll have 30 seconds to prepare your response. Okay. So please, you can start speaking now.
Okay. According to the passage that is about an economic class, it talks about what the demand for a product. The professor mentions first that the mainly base is the price. For example, and when is the typical phrase of the offer and demand. If some product is so demanded, the offer will grow up. Also, this not only depends on the price, this also depends on the substitutes. For example, the professor talks about about two products, the butter and the margarita, and the professor said that if one product is more expensive than the other, this will make the people buy the other product. For example, if the margarita is more expensive than the butter will be more bought for the people. Also, the professor talked about products that have to go together, and
All right. So you were doing so good. You were just missing some time, I think. So, in order to make it in time for both, you need to shorten that intro. At the beginning, you can just say the lecture is about substitute and complement goods and how they influence product demand. And then you say first, he talks about substitute goods, which are these products. And then you give the example, for instance, butter and margarine. When the price of margarine goes up, then the demand for butter goes up too. And then you say, on the other hand, there's also these complement goods that complement each other. And then you go again, for example, and CDs and blah, blah. So just make sure that at the beginning, you don't waste so much time and that you follow that order, like first substitute goods, second complement goods, and for example. I think you were doing good. And I think the thing is that you probably knew about this topic, didn't you?
yes, a little bit.
Okay, because it looked like you did, and you have good vocabulary as well, related economy and business and stuff. So I think you can really do a good job. Just make sure that you manage your time a bit better. And I think it's great.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna do one more. Let me look for it. Probably 19. All right. Oh no, it's just. So I'm gonna play it. You may take some notes.
Listen to part of a lecture in a biology class.
Today, I want to talk about seabirds. Now, seabirds hunt and eat fish, and, well, their food can be hard to find because their food source is spread out over a large expanse of water. So what seabirds have done is that over time, they've made adaptations. They've developed special characteristics that help them find food. One adaptation involves the length of the bird's wings. The albatross, for example, is a large seabird that spends most of its life flying over ocean waters in search of food, fish to feed itself, and to carry back to the nest for its chicks. Now, most birds flap their wings up and down when they fly, which uses up a lot of energy. But the albatross has these special long wings that it can hold perfectly still. It's able to fly without moving its wings up and down. These long wings allow it to glide or float on the wind, and this uses very little energy. This is important because, as I said, the albatross has to cover a huge expanse of ocean to locate food, sometimes up to 1,100 miles a day. Because of its long wings, it can glide along over the ocean, using little energy as it searches for food. Another important adaptation of many seabirds is an acute, highly developed sense of smell. Take the fulmar. Like the albatross, the fulmar needs to find food that's scattered far out over the ocean. But the fulmar has a rather unusual advantage. It has tiny tubes inside the nose holes in its beak, and these special tube-shaped nostrils help it to pick up the scent of food. Now, this highly developed sense of smell is especially important because the fulmar's main source of food, plankton, are tiny organisms that are hard to see, but they give off a very sharp, distinctive odor. So when fulmars are flying around looking for food, they may not be able to see them, but they can find the plankton by smelling them, even from far away.
Using the examples of the albatross and the fulmar, Explain 2 special adaptations that have developed to help seabirds find food.
Okay, so once again, 30 seconds to prepare. Okay, so please, you can begin speaking now.
All right. According to the passage that is about a biology class, the professor talks about seabirds. And seabirds are a type of bird that lives in the sea, like their food are just located in the sea. And as you can think, their food is hard to find. It's so hard to find because it's so spread out in the sea. For this difficulty, these seabirds had characteristics. One of them is the length of their wings, that makes them able to fly for a long distances, and also they are able to fly without moving their wings for a little period of time. Also, a good characteristic of this kind of bird is their smell. Their smell is so developed, so they can find their food easier than other animals. For example, they can find plankton, that is one of their principal food, by smelling them.
Okay, nice. So this time you made it on time, even though your intro was a bit long. So I think you're able to do it. One tiny thing, don't forget to mention the examples, so using the examples of the albatross and the fulmar. So at least refer to them, when you're like, because your explanation was perfect. So you explain, I mean, I think the sense of smell, for example, and then once you said everything, you can say just something like such as the fulmar, or something like the fulmar, or like the albatross, and that does this, or that has this characteristic or this adaptation. So something quick, but don't forget to mention them. Okay.
All right, teacher.
Okay then. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't have.
Okay. So I'll see you next session. I think it'll be on Wednesday, if I'm not wrong.
All right, teacher, then see you on the next session. Have a great night.
Bye. Thanks, you too. Hi there, Zoe.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, what we're going to be doing during these speaking sessions is pretty much just go over the speaking section. So we're going to be looking at the 4 tasks that we have, starting today with the first one. So since we have 8 sessions and 4 tasks, we're going to be taking 2 per task. That means then today and the next session are going to be about task 1, the speaking session, the third one and the fourth one about task 2 and so on, okay? So is that okay? Any questions so far?
We're gonna go. We're gonna have a task, different tasks about the sessions.
Yeah, I mean, there are 4 tasks in the speaking section, 4 questions that you need to answer in the speaking section. And we're going to be practicing those here. Now, the thing is that even though we haven't really seen the speaking yet in the group class, we're still going to see it. So this is just something extra. We're going to be looking at these questions in depth in the group class, but this is additional so that maybe we can do something, I can give you some feedback. But we will still be looking at this in the group class. Okay?
Okay. A practice methodology, I think.
Yeah, it's some kind of practice.
Okay.
So let's start today with the first one. So in this question, even though we haven't seen it, what we have seen is the independent writing, and it is quite similar to that. So if you remember the independent writing, the question is the same one. I mean, the same type of question. So some people prefer this, other people prefer that. What do you think? Or do you agree or disagree with this prompt? Or do you think that this is a good idea or not? Or what do you prefer? So it's all about choosing some options and justifying why you have chosen that one, So the type of question that you will get is exactly the same as in the independent writing. And what you need to do is pretty much the same too. So basically what you're going to have to do is say something like, well, I prefer working alone. And then you just need to tell me why. So in order to do that, you're going to have to give at least one reason. So let's say because I don't get distracted, and at least one example. So you can tell me something about you or something general, but an example. And after you read the question, you will have 15 seconds so that you can prepare your response, which to be honest is almost nothing. So during those 15 seconds, maybe you just can reread the question, think about it for a while. You don't really have to do that much because it's not a lot. And then during the 45 seconds that you will have to speak, you just have to answer the question. So you need to go ahead with your response. So is that okay so far?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so you get the question, 15 seconds to prepare and 45 seconds to respond to the question. So what you can do, what you have to do though, let's read this question. It says some people prefer to work alone and others prefer to work with someone else. So what do you prefer? So what you can do is something like this. At the beginning, you start with a short introduction in which you're going to tell me what you prefer or what your position is. So something like, I would definitely say that working with someone else is better or is way better. And that's it. That's your intro, short. And then you tell me why. So you need an argument, a reason. So you can say something like, since there's always someone there that can help you out when you need it. And that's your reason. And then you can give an example. And this could be the same as in the writing. It could be personal, like, for example, when I was at the office this one time, I was struggling with my computer and it didn't, I don't know, it wasn't turning on, but lucky me, I had a technician on my side or an ET guy that was able to help me. And we got through it just because I was working with someone else. Or you could give me a general example, something like, if you are at the office and you're struggling with something, you have a lot of people there from different areas with different professions that can help you with whatever you need. So you just elaborate a bit more. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Your intro, I think I prefer this, your reason because of this reason, and your example, for example, and then your tell. So is that okay?
Yeah. So I gonna start or?
Yeah, but not with this one. We're gonna do another one.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go with this one. It goes, do you prefer to read printed books or do you believe that audiobooks are a better choice? Illustrate your argument with reasons and supporting details. So printed books versus audiobooks, what do you prefer? Okay, so now you will have 15 seconds to prepare your response so you can reread the question and then you'll do it. Okay, so prepare. Okay, so there's a noise there.
Sorry?
There's a noise. You have a background noise.
Yeah, I gonna start this.
Okay, weird, but I can hear you. So are you ready? You want to go?
Yeah.
So you can go ahead.
Okay. The first one. Well, I think my position is I work alone because I have been many experience in university I when I was working with other partners. I was trying to explain how is the better way to to do the work when the professor said group team. So and after that, for example, I was trying to explain how they disappoint me when they work alone as well. So I was trying to say they was very selfful. So I didn't confuse when they believe with me. After that, I had been many experiences in my house when when a game table games. I don't know. I was trying to work with my relatives, and many times I was trying to work with others, but it was very difficult for me. And I think it's a close opinion, but I try to I try to be open mind about it. So
Okay.
I try to improve it.
All right. So that was okay, but remember, you're just supposed to speak for 45 seconds. So you need to make sure that you look at the screen and that it has that structure, 45 seconds. I prefer to work alone because I don't get distracted. For example, whenever I'm working on, I don't know, on a project, I try to eliminate all distractions and I'm a very, I don't know, outgoing person. So if I have someone there, I'll get distracted very easily. So it's super, it's supposed to be short, right? So make sure that you have that. Okay, now let's talk about your response. So first thing, the one that you were supposed to do was this one, right? Do you prefer printed books or audiobooks? So you needed to tell me, I prefer to read printed books, since you can get, I don't know, the feeling of physical pages, and you can connect more with that, with the author, whatever. So you were supposed to do this one. But it was okay. You did the first one, that's fine. So what I can say, first thing, make sure that you start in a different way. So you're saying, I think that my position is work alone. So you don't need to tell me those words like my position is this, my argument is that, my example. You need to make sure you say it like in a casual way. So instead of saying, I think my position is, maybe you could say something like, I believe that this is better. So I believe that working alone is better. Or I believe, or to me, working alone is better. Okay, so something like, and then instead of saying because, try to use another one. So like, since I don't get distracted, and don't forget your reason. And then you move on to your example. So to illustrate, and then you tell me that example. Okay, so are you getting the idea?
Yes, I had a little mistakes. I realized.
Okay, that's fine. It was your first try, so I think it was really good to your first try. Let's do another one though. So this time you have, do you prefer to go to bed earlier at night, around 9 p.m., or do you like to stay up late until 12 a.m.? So you need to choose one, whether you prefer to go to bed earlier at night, or do you like to stay up late? And then you need to think of one reason why you prefer to stay up late or to go to bed earlier. And it will be good if you can give me one example as well. All right. So I'll give you 15 seconds to think, and then you go. Okay. So you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So you can go ahead now.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, I think to wake up a way to wake up to wake up early, 9 a.m. or I think this is very uncomfortable for me because or since pandemic situations, it was difficult for me be- when the others when have a little experience when I wake up 9 a.m. So I think when pandemic situation started, I I had a little problem with that when I wake up very uh, late.
Okay. All right. So I think that was a lot better. We're going to talk about it in a bit. Hi, Ninette, you there?
Yes, hi.
Hi. So wasn't your session a bit earlier? I think we're having.
Yeah, I put it at first time at 7:45, I think. But I wasn't at home in that time, so I saw that no one it was in this time, so I put my name in this time.
Well, actually, I think Ever was at this time.
8?
Yeah, right, Ever?
No, 8. No, Ever I saw is in 8:30, and I put 8:50.
Okay.
Yes, my mistake. I saw it empty, so I put my name there.
Okay. So for next time, just try to put your name once because you know that happens. So what can we do? Ever, maybe is there some way we can have it at 8:30?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, so I'll see you at 8:30.
See you then.
Bye bye. And hi, Hussein. So I think okay, I don't know what can we so Okay, Hussein disconnect. All right, Ines, so we're gonna have the session.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I need to turn on my camera?
Not really, I know that you're there. So if you feel better this way, that's okay, if you feel more comfortable. Okay.
Turn.
So, all right. Okay. So what we're going to be doing during these sessions is basically just go over the 4 speaking tasks that we have in the speaking section. So this is something just extra additional to the group class. We're still going to be looking at each one of them, in an in-depth, detailed way in class. But this is just something so that you can practice on your own, and I can give you some feedback maybe. Okay. So we're going to start with task 1. We're going to start with the first. So, and also we're going to be taking 2 per task. So that means that today and next session are going to be for task 1, the 3rd and the 4th for task 2, and so on. So, okay, let's start with this one. Now, the good thing is that even though we haven't seen this yet in class, we haven't seen this task, we were not in this speaking yet. The thing is, we have seen the writing, and the independent writing is quite similar to this task. So basically what you will have to do here is they will give you a question, a prompt that you need to read, and then they'll give you 15 seconds to think about it for a while, maybe prepare your response, and then you're going to have to answer the question in 45 seconds speaking. So now the thing is, the question that you get is exactly the same type of question you got for the writing. So it's always like, do you prefer this or that? Or do you think that this is a good idea or not? Or do you agree or disagree? So it's always about choosing between 2 options and explaining and justifying, So is that okay so far?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. And the topics are also the same, like work, college, lifestyle, technology sometimes. So yeah. Okay, now what you have to do in your response, I'll give you an example. If you got this question, some people prefer to work alone, others prefer working with someone else. So what do you prefer? So what you have to do in your response is first have a short introduction, as quick as possible, something like, I would definitely say that, and then you tell me what your position is. So I will definitely say that working with someone else is better, and that's it. And then you tell me a reason. So you need to think of one reason why. So since, I don't know, you have people there to help you out in whatever you can need. And then it will be good if you can think of an example as well. So to illustrate, and it could be personal, general, the same stuff we saw for the writing. So you could say, to illustrate, when I was at the office yesterday, I was struggling with my computer. I couldn't turn it on. But lucky me, I had a lot of people there, a lot of IT guys, and the technician was able to help me solve the problem. So I was only able to do this because I was working with someone else. So that's it. You got your intro where you tell me what you prefer or what your opinion is. Then you got your reason and then your example. So
Okay.
is that okay?
Yes, I get it.
All right, so you need to do all that in 45 seconds. Okay, so want to try? Want to start with the first one?
Okay.
Okay, so here we got the other question. It's, do you prefer to read printed books or audiobooks? So do you believe audiobooks are a better choice? So printed versus audiobooks. You'll have 15 seconds to prepare your response.
I have to choose just one, right?
Yes, please, just one.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so please, if you're ready, you can start speaking now.
Okay, I'm ready. I prefer the audiobooks. No, sorry, I prefer the printed book because I think when you are reading something like printed, you can see how it's writing, and also you will see more in context. And if you don't understand like some part, you can go back and read again, and that will be so helpful. For example, when you are reading, I don't know, like an article, and you can make your conclusions, and you maybe you can feel like whatever you want, because you are just reading. And when you are listening the audiobook, like the audiobook, it's coming with some expression, with different expressions, so will be different. I think will change your mind, or I think the audiobooks will close your mind, and just how the voice, how the tone, the voice tone. Yeah.
Okay. So, yes. The only thing is that you are missing some time. You went over a bit, but that's okay. I think to your first time, the only thing that was missing was time. So it was really cool. I liked your ideas. I like that you structure it in that way. So you started with your position and your argument, your example. What I could say is, I don't know if you've noticed, but usually the examples take longer than the arguments. So just make sure to summarize a bit more your argument, maybe make it in one sentence, so that then you have time to explain your argument and get there, And
Yeah,
also,
I noticed that.
yeah, and also try to focus on the thing that relates to your argument. So if you're saying that in your argument you can, I don't know, you're saying that books or printed books are that audiobooks close your mind. That will be your argument. And then try to focus on that part, on how audiobooks close your mind. Well, what are the other ones? What audiobooks, you can picture what you want. So nothing to say really. I think grammar, pronunciation was perfect. Maybe some word choice. So try to avoid phrases like because or because I think. Try to add maybe some more transitions, like instead of saying and, if you don't understand something, say what's more, if you don't understand something, there's this thing I can do. So, just maybe some technicalities, but I think we're way to go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's do one more. So this one here now. Do you prefer to go to bed earlier at night, around 9 p.m.? Or do you like to stay up until 12 a.m.? Provide specific details to support your explanation. So 15 seconds, okay. Okay. So please, you can start speaking now.
I will definitely say that I prefer to go bed at 9 p.m. because I think all the people need to rest around 8 hours. So that is the point when you're resting. And that is because your mind needs and wake up and to do something productive. For example, when you go to bed at 12 a.m., you will have less time to rest, and you will begin your day so tired or so disgusting, and not with the energy, with the total energy.
Okay, awesome. So this time it was a lot faster. I think you were missing just like 5 seconds. So that's really good. Okay, one tip I can give you is make it a bit more personal. So I think you're giving general examples, which is great, but I think you really have some good grammar that you could use. So instead of saying when you wake up or when you go to bed late at night, then at the next morning you feel tired and stuff. So tell me something like, I once went to bed late at night and the next morning I felt tired and stuff. Okay, so maybe you can do that because I think that would show a bit more what you know.
Okay.
Now, what else? Okay, I think that's it. You know, careful with some word choice, like all people versus everyone. Careful with, you know, disgusted. I don't know if that was the word there. And yeah, just some minor details, but I think overall, we're there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so how are you feeling? Do you have any questions?
No, I think I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, so let's do one more. Let's level it up. So this one is it's not so personal. In cases, I mean, in the case that you don't have such a personal one, then yeah, you can try to give just general examples, or even it could be hard to give examples. So let's see how you do this one. It goes, people who throw trash from their cars onto the freeways should be fined at least $1,000. Do you think that this is a good idea? So should they be fined? Okay, so again, 15 seconds. Okay, so you can start now.
I agree with that position because I think some people don't have enough money to replace the car and maybe to do some inversion in to fix that car. And so I think with that money will be so helpful for the person that's suffering the trash. And for example, when I was a child, I think my mom had an accident. So, and in that moment, my mom didn't have enough money, so she never went to the hospital to check how was she or something like that. So I think the money will be so helpful.
Okay, great. I love your example this time. Okay. However, make sure that you know, those 15 seconds is, I don't think they're so useful. So it's not, I think they're mostly there because so that you can read one more time the question and make sure that you get it. In this case, I'm not sure if it was about accidents. It was about throwing trash. So if they throw trash, like, you know, if they are polluting the freeways, should they be fined? And why, you know? So it wasn't about accidents or getting that money, but about whether they should be charged or punished for doing that, you know? So
Okay.
throwing trash refers to like contaminating the roads, you know, with maybe plastic bags or anything. So
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I read that trash. Yeah.
okay. So yeah,
I'm so sorry.
no worries, that happens. So just make sure that you use that time to read. And also, you know, we're gonna see this in class, and we also have one more session. So we're gonna be seeing how to respond that kind of questions. Okay, yeah. Any questions?
No, it's okay. I'm sorry again.
Okay, no worries. So then I'll see you tomorrow in class.
Okay, see you. Thank you.
Bye. Hi, Ever. Thanks so much for waiting.
Hi, good evening. No problem. It was my bad.
I don't really know what happened. It was confusion. But okay, but thanks anyway. So What we're going to be doing here during these sessions is just go over the speaking section. We're going to be working on each task, starting today with the first one. But I think it's important to say that we're still going to be looking at this, in an in-depth way in class, in the group class we have. So don't worry if it's not, so detailed, because we will be looking at it. Okay. So is that okay so far? We're going to start today with this one. Now, the thing is, even though we haven't seen this yet, we have seen the independent writing, and it's quite similar to that. So if you remember how the question was for the independent writing, then we're already good. So what you will have to do here is basically they will give you a question, a prompt that you have to read. And it's always about what you prefer or what you think or what your opinion is. So some people prefer to work alone. Others prefer to work with someone else. Some people prefer to run, others prefer to walk. Do you think that this is a good idea, or do you agree or disagree with this statement? So that type of question. So after you read the question, you will be given 15 seconds to prepare. So you just, 15 seconds, not a lot. So you can just reread the question, make sure you get it. And then you will have 45 seconds, sorry, to speak and to answer the question. So, that okay? Any questions so far?
No, it's okay.
Okay, so what you have to do in your response is, well, basically this, I'll give you an example. Let's say we got this question, do you prefer to work alone or with someone else? So I can say something like, I would definitely say that, and there I need to give my position, so I need to tell what I think. So I would definitely say that I don't know, that working with someone else is better. So that's it, that's my intro. And then I need to think of one reason why. So I can say, since you got a lot of people there to help you out whenever you need it. So that's my reason, that you got people there that can help you. And then I need to give an example. So I can say something like, to illustrate, yesterday I was at the office and my computer wasn't working. I was struggling with turning it on. But lucky me, I had a lot of different people that helped me. I had an ET guy or a technician at my side. So he was able to help me and we got through it. And that only happened because I was working with someone else. If I had been working alone, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it. So that's it. You got the intro, you tell me what you think, your reason, and then the example. It doesn't necessarily have to be personal. You can make it a general one. Like when you are at the office and you struggle with something, let's say technology, you probably have some technology guy there that can help you. So it could be general as well. Just make sure to give one. Okay, so.
Okay.
So any questions?
No.
Okay. So now your turn, you're gonna do it. So here's the first task. Do you prefer to read printed books, or do you believe that audiobooks are a better choice? So printed books or audiobooks, you need to choose one and tell me why. Now you have 15 seconds to prepare your response. Hi, Melanie. I think your session is a bit later. Can you come back later?
Join with me?
Yeah, Melanie, isn't it yours? I mean.
Oh.
Okay. Did you book it?
Oh, no, I couldn't.
Oh, well, I mean, you're supposed to book one, put your name on it so that we can organize it.
20:30, like 7:30, 7:25?
Yeah, but that was Evers.
Oh.
So, yeah. The thing is,
so there's no more space. It has to be that one, right?
I mean, we could do it at 9 if you want, from 9 to 9:15. Would that be okay?
9:15?
Yeah.
That would be here at 10?
Yeah, probably.
10:15. So 10:15.
5 minutes.
10:15, right?
from 10 to 10:15. I don't know, in 25 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, see you there. Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know.
It's okay.
Okay, so I'll continue preparing. Okay. So please, if you're ready, you can start speaking now.
Sure. I would definitely say that I go for printed books because I think that is better because you can handle everywhere you want. I would rather smell also the a new one, and I think that it's when I want to write something over the book, or maybe I feel something that it's important for me, I can write it on. As an example, when I was a kid, I used to read so many tales. So there I used to draw something that I would remind it later.
Okay, so that was a really good one. I think I really like your response. And I think the first one was actually pretty cool. So I like that you were following the structure, first position, and I also like the way you started. Definitely go for this, like that. As you can say, as you probably noticed, sometimes the examples take a bit longer. So make sure that your argument, try to summarize it a bit more. One or at most two sentences would be good. And then for your example, again, one or two, and that's gonna make the 45 seconds. Okay, what else? Nothing really. I think that was great. Grammar and pronunciation and everything. Careful with expression. It's usually write it down. So I can write down something there. Okay.
I got confused with that phrasal verb.
Yeah, I know. It is kind of confusing, but that's okay. So let's go with another one then.
Okay.
You prefer to go to bed earlier at night, around 9, or stay up late until 12 a.m.? So go to bed earlier or late at night. 15 seconds to prepare. Okay. So now you can start speaking.
Well, I can say that for me works much better working at night. So I go to bed a little bit later, like 1 in the morning, maybe. Since I was studying at the university, I used to pass classes all day long. So for me, the night was more productive. As an example of that, my last two years in university, I passed it all. How do you say, madrugando?
Okay, I don't think there's a word for that. Like, yeah,
being late.
Staying up late, you could say. Okay. So, yeah, I think staying up late would work. or yeah, there's really no word for that verb. Should be. Okay, so I think you were missing some more time, maybe a couple of seconds more to finish off with your example. But that's okay, you know. I mean, it takes some practice to kind of get used to the idea of how much you should speak for each section, and but you'll do it. You'll get there. So what we could say, so first thing, make sure that you don't forget your argument and that you're kind of following the structure. So you said, you went with your position. You said, I definitely say that what works better for me is to stay up late. And then you didn't really tell me why. You went right off with your example. You said, since I was studying at university, this happened to me. So try to tell me something like, since I have a lot of classes in the day and I need to, I don't know, do this at night or something like that, or I need to get this done at night. So something like that. And also don't forget your transitions. I think you used one, you said as an example of that, but I would try to change it, you know, especially if it's going to be part of your template. You could say as an example, and try not to say as an example of that. Or you could try to change it for some other ones, like for instance, or to illustrate, or exemplifying. And of course, it's not just these ones. You could definitely add more. So instead of saying, and this happens, or and tell me, you know, what's more, you're more productive at night. Or thus, you know, I prefer to do this instead of so. So you could add some more transitions in there, and also make sure that you check some expressions or vocabulary related to education or academic life, college and stuff. So instead of saying I pass classes, it would be better to say I have classes, you know? So some expressions, vocabulary maybe. But I think overall, we're ready to go. So we're really getting there.
Great.
Okay. All right. So as I was saying, you know, we're gonna have one more session for this one, and we're also gonna be looking at this in class, so it should be fine. Do you have any questions though for today?
No, I think it's very clear.
Okay, then. So I'll see you tomorrow in class.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. Take care.
See you.
Hi, Fabricio.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi.
How are you? Good evening.
Okay. So, what we're going to be doing during these sessions is, hi, I think you were frozen for a bit. So, what we're going to be doing during these sessions is basically just go over the 4 speaking tasks that we have in the speaking section. And this is just something extra additional to the group class. And we're still going to be looking at them in depth in a detailed way in class. So don't worry if it's not so detailed. We'll see that in class. But this you can practice on your own. Maybe I can give you some feedback, see how we're doing, and yeah. So today we're going to be starting with task 1, and also next session is going to be for task 1, and the 3rd and the 4th for task 2, the 5th and the 6th for task 3, and so on. So we'll be basically taking 2 per task. Okay, so let's talk about this task. The good thing is that even though we haven't seen it yet, we're not in the speaking yet, we have seen the writing section, and the independent writing is quite similar to this. So what you will have to do here is basically you will read a question, you will be given one, the same type of question you got for the writing. So it's like, do you prefer to do this or to do that? Or do you think that this is a good idea? No. Do you agree or disagree? And after you read, you will be given 15 seconds to prepare. So you can just reread the question, think about it, and then you will have to respond and answer in 45 seconds. So you need to answer this question in 45 seconds speaking. Okay? So
Okay.
is that okay so far? Questions?
Yeah. No. I think it's pretty clear.
Okay, good. So, okay, so what do you need to do in your response? Let's say you have this one. Do you prefer to work alone or to work with someone else? So if you got that question, some way to answer it would be, first, you need to start by telling me what you think, what your position is. So something like, I would definitely say that working with someone else is better. So it's supposed to be quick, nothing that complicated. And then you need to tell me a reason, like, since you have a lot of people there to help you out. And that's it. You know, you get help when you need it. And then you try to think of an example. So you can say something like, to illustrate, I don't know, yesterday I was at the office and my computer wasn't working. I was struggling to turn it on. But lucky me, I had many technicians there or many IT guys that were able to help me. So we were able to solve it. And that was only because I was working with someone else. If I had been working alone, then maybe I wouldn't have been able to do it. So that's it. You know, you got your intro when you tell me what you think or what you prefer, your reason, and an example will be good. Could be general as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be personal. So if you feel better with it, that's okay.
Okay.
So, all right. Any questions?
Not really. I think it's just like you said, like the writing. I think it's better to go for one. I think it's better to go for one position and go like super clear with it, not to go between the two possible choices. And like when you go like I agree with this, but sometimes this other is better.
Yeah.
I think it's like the writing, right?
Yeah, totally, exactly. So yeah, and it's supposed to be even more direct than the writing. You know, in the writing you can take your time, think about it, but here you're just if you're trying to like do that and maybe add something for your intro or something like that, then it's just gonna make it confusing for the listener, and that's something that they really look at. You know, here, so how clear your response is, whether they say something like the listener effort. So the less the less effort they need to put, the better for you. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna start with this one. You're gonna try to do it. It goes, do you prefer to read printed books or do you believe that audiobooks are a better choice? So you need to choose one and you'll have 15 seconds to think about it. So you
Okay.
okay. So if you're ready, you can start speaking now.
Oh, okay. I think, in my opinion, to read a printed book would be a better choice, because you get like you get in contact with something, like it's physically there, and while For in the other hand, when you are like just listening to something, you can get distracted with other things and even your thoughts. I would rather go in that sense with something printed. I don't know if I have just that time.
Yeah, that's it, 45 seconds.
Oh, okay.
But
It's very short time.
it is. But you know, you're gonna get used to it. So it's just practice. You know, that you'll get to a point where you're gonna be like, you're gonna know exactly for how long you should speak for your argument and your example. So it'll get easier. Okay. But I think your response was actually really cool. You know, it was the first try, but it was really, really good. So even though you were missing the example, I think your explanation was kind of making up for it, you know? So I really liked it. I like that you were, I mean, using transitions. It sounded really, you know, academic in a way. So, and even your, like, what you said could count as an example, you know? So sometimes it'll be just shorter. It doesn't necessarily have to be a story. So if you say, you can get distracted, you can just say, for example, you can get lost on your own thoughts. So that could count as an example. As long as you say that and add something a bit more specific than what you're saying, it's totally fine.
Great.
So yeah, I mean, grammar was good, pronunciation, structure. At the beginning, if you're gonna use this as your template, maybe you can change it. So I think, in my opinion, one of those two. I think it's not so good. So in my opinion, and then you tell it as. So reading this is better. And yeah, I think that no other comments. You're really good.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so let's go with this one now. Do you prefer to go to bed earlier at night, around 9 p.m., or do you like to stay up late until 12 a.m.? Provide specific details to support your explanation.
Oh, that is great.
Why?
I have this like pretty clear to me.
Okay, then
Yeah.
it is. Okay, so 15 seconds to prepare.
Okay.
Okay, so let's hear it. You can start now.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, it's better to sleep up or to get. No, I have it clear. I had it clear. Sorry.
Okay, no worries. Wanna go again?
Yeah, please.
Okay, let's go.
Oh well, in my opinion, it's better to be up until 12 a.m. because in my experience, when I go to sleep earlier or later, it has the same result the next morning. I would be tired anyway, so instead of sleeping earlier, I would rather go to sleep a little late, just to do a little more things during the day.
Okay, so that was really great. This time you didn't really need examples because I think everything you said was personal. So that's good. And they really like, you know, to keep it personal. That's why they have these details and stuff.
Great.
So, okay, so nothing to say really, you know, okay, if you have some extra time, what you can do is like a short conclusion. So if you got like 5, 10, 6 seconds, something quick. Like, so that's why I think so. Or if you got more time and you don't know what to say, you can go for something longer. So that's why I prefer, or I have seen that this is better. But yeah, that's just extra. You don't really have to do one. So totally fine if you don't. So
That was
yeah,
a great question.
well, yeah, it was a good one. You answered great. That's
Thank
uh,
you. I think it's easier when it's something like you really have put like some thought in that, because this I did. You know, I try to sleep early during a couple of, well, during a certain time. I was like, oh yeah, I have to sleep earlier. But even though I did that, I still woke up super tired, and that's where it came to my mind, why to do that if I can do like little more things. Yeah.
I never thought of it that way. I'm gonna try it because I'm the type of person that's like, no, I need to go to bed early because I have some things to do in the morning. But I'm gonna I'm gonna try that.
But maybe you wake up like good, well rested. I don't, even if I sleep
Oh
early.
yeah, it is personal. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. It depends. Okay. And yes, what you're saying is true. You know, when you have an opinion on that, or when you ever like talked about that with a friend or something, then yeah, it gets easier. So what you can do is, you know, it's all about practice. You're gonna see that the topics are kind of the same. So this thing about education, for example, quite common, you know, online learning versus traditional learning.
Oh yeah.
So, or, you know, even printed books versus or digital textbooks, all that type of thing on technology, environment, working. So you can actually, you know, have some things not pre-prepared, but have some ideas in mind. So yeah, I for sure do that. Okay, so we don't really have time to do much, but we're gonna have one more session to do it, and we'll still do it in class, and you'll have your practice session as well, so it should be fine.
Okay, great. So we have to schedule another one of these sessions.
Yeah, I mean, we need to have 8 of them in total. So we're gonna have one per week. So next week you're gonna have to schedule another one
Oh, okay.
every Monday, I think.
But it's like everything related to this, like speaking, or
Yes.
it's gonna be
So
different topics.
I mean, we have 4 tasks. So I mean, today was about the first one. Next week is gonna be about the first one as well, and then the following week is gonna be about the second one. So I guess
Okay.
yeah, it's gonna be
Got it. Got it.
okay. So then I'll see you tomorrow in class, Mauricio.
I'm sorry.
I'll see you tomorrow in class.
Oh yeah, we will see tomorrow in class.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye. You too. Take care. Bye bye.